Winter leaves like a sun on a parade 3. The Emperor awakens in cuckold's horns. Written by Christopher Rangel. Part 1. Prelude. Zack, Roxas, Sherlock, and Watson were in charge of watching the border of Los Angeles for the beast's arrival. Zack was driving, and he had the Buster Sword between his back and the chair, so it was mildly uncomfortable, but he had to keep it on his back because that was where it belonged. Zack was focused on driving to the 10:30 position, while Roxas and Sherlock were focused on the passing scenery outside the window, and Watson was still focused on the Buster Sword because he still had PTSD. "So, how are you guys hanging in?" asked Zack. "We are good," said Sherlock and Roxas, but Watson was silent. "Everything all right, Watson?" asked Zack. "Yeah, I'm fine, don't worry about me," said Watson. "Okay," said Zack, and he kept driving. "Actually, you know what? Everything is not fine," said Watson. "Stop the car." "But we're almost there," said Zack. "I said stop the fucking car, slut," said Watson. "Alright, jeez," said Zack, and he stopped the car. "What do you need, pal?" Watson pulled out a pistol, pointed it at Zack, and said, "Get out of the car." "Why?" asked Zack. "Just get out of the fucking car!" yelled Watson. "John, what are you doing?" asked Sherlock. Watson ignored him. "All right," said Zack with a shrug. He and Watson got out of the car at the same time. Watson kept his gun pointed at Zack, who just stood there with his muscular arms folded over his soldier first-class uniform. "What is it, John?" "That's fucking Watson to you, bitch," said Watson. Okay, said Zack. "Fucking Watson. I have the gun here. Don't mock me." "I've got a Buster Sword. Your point?" "Yes, you have a Buster Sword," said Watson, laughing. "That's it. I saw that same fucking sword in Iraq, and it was used to cut up an entire platoon in Iraq. You killed so many people." "Iraq?" said Zack. "I haven't been to Iraq. You must have me confused with Sephiroth while he was wearing Cloud's skin." "Guys," said Sherlock, "settle down. We don't need to fight like this." And then all of a sudden Tommy Wiseau was there. "Hey, you guys know why no one at Hollywood no more?" said Tommy Wiseau. "Because an evil god is going to emerge from it soon," said Roxas. "Oh, okay. Bye," said Tommy Wiseau, and he left. Foreshadowing? "Look, John, I don't want to fight you," said Zack. "Hear that, John? He doesn't want to fight you," said Sherlock. But then Loki showed up and waved his scepter at Zack. "Actually," said Zack, "I do want to fight you, John." Zack drew his sword and Loki looked very amused. "Loki," hissed Sherlock, "knock it off right now, or my associate will have to handle you." And Roxas cracked his knuckles, ready for a fight of his own. "I can handle Roxas," said Loki. "I am a god after all." "You're on the wrong side," said Roxas. "We could use you to fight the beast. He is also a god." "Oh, I know the beast very well, actually. He has me over to his dimension for tea and butt-fucking every Tuesday afternoon." "No," said Sherlock, "but that means—" "Yes," said Loki. "That's 2 gods against you in this war." "John Cena's mother's grandmother's cunt," said Sherlock. "We've been had." "Yes," said Loki. "Now let's sit back and enjoy the fight." "Oh shit," said Watson, and he started running backwards as fast as he could while shooting his gun at Zack, who kept blocking with the Buster Sword. Then Zack charged at Watson, sword first, and Watson started to run full throttle away, but just before Watson was impaled, Sherlock jumped in the way. "No," said Watson. "What have I done?" said Zack as he fell to his knees in shame. "You've put on a jolly good show," said Loki. "How are you feeling, Sherlock?" Sherlock was pinned to the ground by having the Buster Sword in his chest. He flipped off Loki, who laughed. "Well, this has been fun," said Loki. "But I think Donald Trump is going to rape Captain America again, and I want to be there to watch." And Loki disappeared. "Bastard," said Sherlock. He looked up at Watson, who was bent over him. "Forgive Zack." "I'm sorry, but I can't," said Watson, and then Sherlock groaned and died. Watson looked at Zack, his eyes full of tears, and then he ran away. "John, wait!" said Roxas. "No, let him go," said Zack. "Forgive me, Angeal, I have let you down. My dreams and my honor, they are gone now." And then the ghosts of Angeal and Cloud showed up. "We are still with you," said Angeal. "Yeah," said Cloud. We are still with you." And then the two ghosts raised up their buster swords, and then Zack slid his sword out of Sherlock's rotting carcass and pointed it next to the two spectral buster swords, and they were like the three musketeers. Get it? Because they are sad people? And then the ghosts disappeared, and Zack sheathed his buster sword, but he was still sad. "Don't worry too much," said Roxas. "I too had to kill one of my best friends once. If you need help, I am there for you." "Thanks, man," said Zack. "Well, I guess we should make sure John is doing all right." So they followed the direction that Watson went, which was towards Los Angeles, but it was weird, because they were actually following a really long trail of dead bodies. At the end of the trail, he found Watson standing by a wooden cross, and on that cross was Tommy Wiseau. "Oh, hi, guys," said Tommy Wiseau. "Oh, hey, everyone," said Watson as he hammered another nail into Tommy Wiseau's leg. "Ow, it hurts," said Tommy Wiseau. "Good," said Watson. He dug a really long and sharp splinter under one of Tommy Wiseau's fingernails. "John," said Zack, grabbing Watson by the shoulder. "What the hell are you doing?" "You heard Loki," said Watson. "They have at least 2 gods on their sides, while we have none. Therefore, I'm creating a god to be on our side." He stuck a couple more nails into Tommy Wiseau's arms. "Oh," said Zack and Roxas. Then they helped Watson crucify Tommy Wiseau. At the end, Watson hammered 2 nails into Tommy Wiseau's eyes in a way that they wouldn't pierce his brain, and then, while he was still screaming in agony, they let the cross on fire, stepped back, and enjoyed the flames while Tommy Wiseau screamed, "This is tearing me apart!" And then there was a brilliant white light, and as the cross exploded, Tommy Wiseau appeared before them, but stronger and golden. "Oh, hi," said Tommy Wiseau. "I am Super Saiyan God Wiseau." Meanwhile, Filthy Frank carried Luke to the fountain of Captain Falcon. "You need a new baptism," said Filthy Frank. "In this new crippled form, you can use all the help you can get. Now, I'm not sure how much this will do to help you, but it is worth a shot." Luke nodded. He looked up at Filthy Frank. "You're not really Filthy Frank, are you?" asked Luke. Filthy Frank adjusted his sunglasses sadly. "No," he said, "I am not." They arrived at the fountain of Captain Falcon, which was now a huge tourist attraction. They bumped into Captain Falcon from the book Middle Passage, who was actually a midget that was a slave trader that liked raping cabin boys. Captain Falcon was disappointed that the fountain of Captain Falcon was not actually dedicated to him. Filthy Frank and Luke carried on. "Man, you're pretty heavy, boy," said Filthy Frank. Luke laughed. "No, I'm not. You're just a wimp." "Ha ha, yeah," said Filthy Frank. "You got me there, boy." "Hodor," came a voice from the crowd. A giant man named Hodor made his way towards them and said, "Hodor." "I think he's trying to say something," said Luke. "Hodor," said Hodor. "What my friend is trying to say," said Jon Snow, who stepped out from behind Hodor, "is that if you need help carrying the boy, he is actually currently unemployed as a professional crippled child carrier." "Oh, sweet," said Filthy Frank as he handed Luke to Hodor. "Hello," said Luke. "Hodor," said Hodor. "I used to carry around my crippled relative Bran until the skinwalker stole Bran's skin." A tear fell from Jon Snow's eye. "Fucking skinwalkers," said Filthy Frank. "Gotta kill 'em all, that's what I say." "Yes, I agree," said Jon Snow. He extended a hand. "My name is Jon Snow." "Sir Francis of the Filth," said Filthy Frank, and they shook hands. "Pleasure to meet you," said Jon Snow, and the group moved closer to the fountain of Captain Falcon. Just then there were a whole lot of screams and people stepped away, but Filthy Frank, Jon Snow, and Hodor stepped forward. A hand had reached up from the water and was pulling a body out of the water. It was Captain Falcon, the Nintendo one, but he looked different. His gloves were black, he had long silver hair flowing from under his helmet, and he wielded a long sword. It was Masamune! He drew Masamune and slashed the entire front row in half. "Captain Falcon, why?" shouted some people in the crowd. "You cancerous fags," said the entity. "I am not Captain Falcon. I am Captain Sephiroth!" And then everyone fled because he was obviously a homophobe, because only homophobes and British people that like to smoke say fag. "Let's get out of here," said Jon Snow, and they got out of there. Meanwhile, Sans, now once more a skeleton and not a cunt named Professor Layton, returned to his and Papyrus's house. He knocked on the door. "Hey bro, I'm home," said Sans. The door opened, but it wasn't Papyrus that answered. It was Jack Skellington. "Hi, Jack," said Sans. "What are you doing here?" "I was worried you'd miss him," said Jack. "Come inside." "What do you mean, miss him?" asked Sans. They walked in silence to Papyrus's bedroom. "Hey, bro," said Sans as he entered his bedroom. "Is everything okay?" He saw Papyrus lying in bed, looking very sickly. "Oh, jeez." He ran to his brother's side. Papyrus turned his head slightly towards Sans. "Papyrus, speak to me." "Bro," said Papyrus, smiling weakly, "I'm glad you came." Papyrus coughed. "What happened to you, bro?" asked Sans. Is someone gonna have a bad time?" "I was poisoned," said Papyrus. No, this can't be," said Sans, a blue glow appearing in his left eye. "Tell me who did this to you." "His name," said Papyrus, "is Xehanort." "Xehanort, huh?" said Sans. "Don't worry, bro. I'll give him what's coming to him." "Thanks, bro," said Papyrus. "Hey, do you think I could have one last plate of spaghetti?" "Sure," said Sans, the blue glow disappearing from his eyes. "Can you walk me through it?" "Sure," said Papyrus, and we directed Sans in how to prepare the spaghetti. "Here you go, bro," said Sans, and he gave Papyrus the plate of spaghetti. Papyrus took a bite of the spaghetti. "Not bad," said Papyrus. "Of course, not as good as the spaghetti made by the master spaghettor himself. The great Papyrus's lower jaw fell stiff. "He's gone," whimpered Jack Skellington. Papyrus turned to dust in Sans's hands. Sans clenched his fist, and his left eye glowed a furious blue. "Xehanort!" Meanwhile, Harambe was doing his best to keep the door sealed, but he was beginning to feel tired. He heard footsteps from behind him. "Who's there?" "Oh, just an old friend of the darkness," said the voice. "Xehanort," grunted Harambe. "Ha ha!" laughed Master Xehanort. He walked closer. "Why are you still here, ape?" "To keep the beast out of this world," said Harambe. "But you kept the door closed to save your friends," said Xehanort. "They are out of harm's way now. You can just let go now." "Never," said Harambe. He knew he couldn't hold it much longer. "You are just prolonging the inevitable now," said Xehanort. "If they're not ready to face him yet, they never will be." Harambe grunted. "You've played your part well, ape, but now you are just in the way." Xehanort drew his black goat's head keyblade. "Allow me to help you get out of the way." Meanwhile, I was fucking pregnant May. "Oh yeah," screamed May. Your dick feels so good against the baby. Oh no, my water broke." So we quickly got dressed and I drove us to the hospital where they delivered our baby. "He is beautiful," said May. "What do you want to call him?" "I love Coheed and Cambria, so let's call him Claudio Sanchez Rangel." "Claudio Sanchez Rangel," repeated May. We both kissed the baby, and I gave May a hug. It was at that moment that I realized that my dick was out. "Oh, geez," I said, and I tried putting my dick back in, but no matter what I did, it stayed out. Then a single word slid from my mouth. "Harambe." To be continued.